There's lots of Warren Buffett sayings out there, and either Warren Buffett said this, maybe it was Charlie Munger, but nonetheless, what they said was common sense is not all that common. And if we apply a little common sense to what's going on in the U.S. economy right now, the situation looks dire. I don't know what you're seeing out there, but when I look at things from an objective point of view, I can see at minimum a solid recession. And if things don't change, we could be heading into a downright depression. With what's going on in our country and what's going on throughout the world, we need to perk up, prepare ourselves, be ready for anything. Let's talk about it in this video right now. Everything seems to be crashing. The stock markets are crashing. The bond market is crashing. The real estate market is showing signs of crashing. Cryptocurrencies, well, they crashed too. But what is going on? I'll tell you one thing that's going on. There's a statistic quoted by CNBC, quoted by Goldman Sachs. I've heard this from a number of reputable, quote unquote, sources that like half of Americans, yes, half of Americans don't have any money saved up. And we know that Americans are racking up consumer credit at a pace that cannot be equaled by any other time in history. But we need to take a step back. What does that mean? I'll tell you what that means. That means the economy is going to crash because these Americans who have no money saved up and already have been extending their consumer credit, their credit cards, they are living paycheck to paycheck, day by day, and these higher prices that we have because of inflation, like gasoline. Just think about this. Half of Americans have no money saved up. They're spending everything that comes in already, and now they're spending an extra $50 a week, $200 a month just on gasoline. That's money they could have spent on some new clothes, maybe a new Xbox, maybe dinner out, any number of things, but instead it's going straight into their gas tank instead of into the economy. That's a significant amount of money that's not being transacted between individuals in the economy, and that's why things are crashing. You know, you should consider getting to know the people that serve you. I know my mailman really well. His name's Bill. I met him like 15 years ago, and he told me, "My name's Bill. It'll be easy for you to remember because I deliver your bills." I actually bought him a die-cast metal replica of his little mail truck the other day because he's getting ready to retire. But I also am friends with the clerk at my local gas station, Dottie. She's 83 years old and still shows up for work every single day. She has severe back problems. She's cried a few times, legitimately cried about the pain she's in, but she shows up because she says she likes to see the people that come into the gas station. Now, besides the warm fuzzies you get, I know Dottie so well that I asked her. I said, "Dottie, have you seen any changes in gas sales?" And you know what she told me? She said, "I'm seeing more people, now that gas is $5 a gallon here in St. Louis, come in and only put like a gallon or 2 gallons or 3 gallons of gas in their car." She's like, "People can't afford these prices. I'm telling you folks, it's going to crash." Now, no more fuzzy stories about being nice to people. Let's talk about something else. The other elephant in the room, food, right? I mean, people much prefer to drive, but we are required as humans to eat. Food prices going through the roof. That's another major factor, right? Money, an extra $100, $200 a month, people are spending on food instead of spending it on those things that I listed earlier, other transactive things. Maybe they're not going to buy a new lawnmower. Maybe they're not going to drive to Chicago to go away for a weekend. Whatever the case may be, instead of that money going into the economy and it being transacted, it's going into their bellies. All the money's either going into people's bellies or gas tanks. And that's for half of the United States economy. That is major. That's going to cause major, major problems. We're starting to see it already. Tech companies are laying off. Advertising levels are way down. Higher interest rates is starting to affect the real estate market. What's going to happen when the real estate market corrects? People are going to feel poor. Their portfolios of stocks are poor. Their bonds are down. Things aren't looking good. Yeah, sure, Jerome Powell, you can control inflation by inciting a depression, but in the long run, that creates many, many more problems, kind of like a self-feeding situation, a feedback loop, right? As the economy gets worse, so then people are going to have less jobs, less money even more, which will make the economy get even worse. The Fed's probably going to pivot soon. Now, for those of us that decided to protect ourselves through investing in gold, silver, or precious metal mining stocks, I prefer the precious metal mining stocks. That could spell good times for us, good times down the road. But nobody wants to see a major depression. We aren't people that want to see such a negative situation with real human suffering. And I'm going to tell you, there's real human suffering going on right now in the economy. There's people who are making tough decisions. Do I eat or do I do this? Do I put a few gallons of gas in my car or do I do this? If you're one of the lucky ones, and I am one of the lucky ones who does have some money saved, we're okay. But there's a big portion of our fellow citizens that are struggling right now. Let's hope they get this figured out. Let's hope they do some right things for the American people and that we get the economy back on track. Until then, we need to protect ourselves, and I'm going to help you do it. Thanks for coming to Ron's Basement. I'll look forward to seeing you again soon.